December 27th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Oh boy! Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Apparently, the prosecution is also ready. Who is the judge here, anyway? Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Very well. No opening statement, so... Not so fast, Judge. I was taking a meaningful pause before speaking. Right, of course. A prediction. Today's trial will end at 3 minutes from now. Order! Order! Mr. Von Karma, what is the meaning of your statement just now? Bah! Must you question everything? It will be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my first witness now. Right. I call my witness, the decisive witness to the stand. It's a mysterious boat shop owner. Witness, state your profession. I'm the proprietor of the restaurant Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. The night of the incident, you were in the boat rental shop, correct? Yep, I was. Please testify. Wait a second. Still haven't heard who this old guy is. Raise objection. Wait a minute. The witness hasn't stated his name yet. Because I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. Bah! I predicted this trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking trivial questions and cooperate. Yeah, right. The witness will state his name. I'm not really sure. What do you mean? My memory, Your Honor. The witness does not remember anything beyond the last several years. He cannot recall his own name. He can't recall, you say? Yes, but the incident in question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Very well. Let's hear his testimony then, shall we, witness? Night of the murder. It was the night of the 24th, just after midnight, yep. I was in the restaurant where I rent boats as usual. Then I heard a bang, yep. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I had another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore and a man walks by my window. Very well, I'd like to begin the cross-examination. There is nothing to question my witness's testimony. Ergo, no need for cross-examination. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before our 3 minutes are up. F you, Karma. Judge, your verdict now. Yes. Mr. Wright? Screw you, Karma. What are you saying? Of course I'll examine the witness. Very well, you may begin. Excuse me, Mr. Von Karma? 3 minutes just passed. Well, you should have been faster, Karma. I see. Well then, let's just take our time. You may cross-examine the witness. Take your time, please. A-hole. Can't stand that jerk. Night of the murder. Just after midnight, you say? Yep, just around then. Are you sure? Pretty sure, yep. When I talked to you yesterday, you were rather vague about the time. Surprised you seem so sure about it today. Yeah. I asked him and he remembered. Isn't that right? Oh, don't glare at me like that. I remembered clearly, I did, yep. You see, continue. I was in the restaurant, where I rent boats as usual. Is there anyone who can verify that? Well, I guess Polly could. That's not a good enough for the court of law. Mr. Wright, exactly what's not good enough? Your Honor, this Polly is a parent. A parent? Don't be so hard on the girl, Keithy boy! Keith? The prosecution concedes that we cannot prove that the witness was in the shop. Witness, please continue. Can't convince... you can't convince us that he was actually in the shop, but please continue. Then I had a bang. Yep. And where did the bang seem to come from? Oh. From the lake, I figure. Are you certain? Yep. Good. Continue. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating in the lake. Was there someone in the boat? It was pretty far out there. I couldn't see clearly, but I figured there was 2 men out there. Yep. But you couldn't see them clearly. Yep. At the time, that is. At the time? And I had another bang. So you're 2 gunshots total. Yep. That's what Lotta said in her testimony yesterday. Just about then, the boat comes back to shore, and a man walks by my window. And I know Von Karma... If I know Von Karma, he spent time preparing his witness. I'm not going to find contradictions very easily in his testimony. Whew, this guy's tough being a lawyer. I didn't realize that was the last one. Oh wait, no, that's the same one we already did. Dang it. That's what I want. By your window? Yep. By my window, right outside the window of my little shack. And could you see this man's face? Well, the fog was pretty darn thick, but it was right there in front of me. I saw him. It's a rather important detail. Please add to your testimony. Tisk. I have a bad feeling about this. That man was defended. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Yeah. Are you sure? No. Dad? Dead certain, Keith! He said, I can't believe he's dead, and he was walking by, too! Witness, are you sure that the person you saw was Miles Edgeworth? It was him! That Edgeworth boy! This sounds like decisive evidence indeed. I see no room for doubt. Karma? They're mean to cross-examining so he could set me up for a fall. Tisk. Nick! I don't like the way things are going here. Everyone in the courtroom is glaring at us. I'd better act quick or this trial is going to be over. Raise an objection? Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired that gun. Mr. Wright, are you referring to the fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun and the photograph showing a man firing with his left hand? Exactly. That is easily explainable. He could have wiped the prints after he fired. You are ignoring the truth of the matter. Everything in the witness's testimony is true. The judge is lost in thought. What should I do? Your Honor! The witness claims that Edgeworth said, I can't believe he's dead. But his words is all we have. If he were telling a lie, Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently, you have yet to realize even this basic fact. If you say his testimony is a lie, show us proof. Yeah.
Nick, do we have evidence? It's no good. There's nothing I can do. Are you sure?
To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore.
Please. Can you hear me, sis? Please. We need your help. Nick needs you.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. 3 minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. Enough! The witness will leave the stand. This court seems no reason to further prolong the trial, nor is there any need for more time to decide the case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts.
Lucy, get the frick off! My mother's cat loves to get into, try getting inside my computer. No!
This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth.
Mother fricker!
The accused will surrender the court immediately and held pending trial, blah, blah, blah. That is all the court is adjourned.
Wait!
Who's that just now? Me! Oh. What? Larry? What are you doing here? Listen. You gotta listen to me. I was there in the park the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until just yesterday. But today I remembered it. Remembered what? The gunshot. I heard it too. Order. What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for adjournment. One moment, Mr. Von Karma. So you say you heard a gunshot? Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience listening to the testimony, and then I realized something that he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you call Edgy a murderer. It's just not right. I'll testify. Let me testify. Larry Butt's coming in to save the day, ladies and gentlemen. Order! Order! Well, this is the first time something has happened like this in my court. I'm not quite sure how to proceed. Judge, you've already given your decision. This trial is over.
Nick, this is it. Larry's given us one final chance at this.
She's right. If only it wasn't Larry. It could make things even worse.
Mr. Edgeworth was just declared guilty, Nick. It doesn't get any worse.
You're right. Okay. Your Honor, if there is another witness, it is our duty to hear him speak. Right here, right now. A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned. Allow me to speak my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? It's justice, douchebag. I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty.
Hell yeah, you do.
Mr. Von Karma, I order you to call this new witness to testify. Now.
What?
The court will adjourn for 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. Whew. December 27th, 10:28 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Whew. That was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. Yeah, right, Edgeworth. You're sweating bullets. I just wonder what Larry plans to say in there.
Larry was at the lake that night?
Yes. He said he went looking for the Steel Samurai balloon that flew into the lake.
Oh, right. He found the balloon in the air tank that night.
Yeah. Hey, Edgeworth. Oh? You say something right? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing.
Mr. Edgeworth? There's something I've been meaning to ask you.
What's that? Why are your fingerprints on the murder weapon? Oh. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. Couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. When I saw the pistol laying on the floor of the boat in front of me, picked it up without thinking. Didn't really, or have a reason, really.
I see.
Right. Yeah? This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfect trials? Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's his secret to success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has to let someone he hasn't talked to testify before the court. And that someone is Larry. What are you getting at? It's likely his testimony will be full of holes, right?
That's right, Nick. No 10-minute trial this time. We'll milk this one for all it's worth.
Hey, it was 15 minutes. 15! Everything's on Larry now. December 27th, 10:35 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Let's go, motherfucker. We're gonna kick this guy's butt. I mean, we're gonna save Edgeworth. It's totally not about kicking freaking Von Karma's butt. Not at all. Court is now back in session. Witness, please testify to the court about everything that you saw on the night of December 24th. Right, leave it to me. Please, Larry, don't mess this one up. I hate to admit it, but you're our last chance. Von Karma didn't even have time to prep his witness. I hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. Yeah, because he can't even actually, like, object to the witness's testimony, I don't think. Not really. Night of the murder. Let's go, Larry. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something, and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back into the rental shop dock. Then, just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked over at the lake, but I didn't see a boat. So after I heard that single gunshot, I went home. So the first gunshot was before there was a boat on the lake. Is an unusually vague testimony even for this court. In any case, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. What's wrong, Nick? It's Larry. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him. I'm a little scared. Well, you've come this far. There's no way but to forward, Nick. I can't speak. The night of the murder. Night I was out in a boat on the lake. Something wrong, Mr. Wright. There's so many things wrong, I don't know where to begin. Well, okay. First of all, what time was it? Oh, it was after 11. Or when I went out in the boat. But that time everyone had gone, or by that time everybody had gone home for the night. So I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. And why were you on a boat at such a late hour? I was looking for something, I found it. Looking for something? Yeah. Mr. Butts, what was it that you were looking for? What the witness was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. That's surprisingly close to the truth in the sense. This is all irrelevant. Please, let's get this over with. So I quietly slipped the boat back into the rental shop dock. Around what time was it? Well, let's see. I figured I was searching out for about an hour. I guess it was around midnight. Yeah. You're not sure? Hey, don't give me that face. I'm not a sort of human sundial, okay? People use watches these days, Larry. I was just thinking about going home when I heard this bang. Where did the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know. Did you see any... did you look at the lake? Yeah, I looked. Looked over at the lake, but I didn't see a boat. Wasn't there a boat on the lake? Order, order. Well, Mr. Putz? Whoa, whoa. Everybody just calm down, okay? I mean, it was real foggy that night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. Oh, okay, no problem. That's just the most important part of this case. So after I heard the single gunshot, I went home. So you only heard one bang, correct? Yeah. Huh. Well, Nick? It's pretty washy-washy testimony, wasn't it? I guess I should start working on the contradictions. Sorry. Wish I could be more helpful. I wish I could call my sister. Lake. I was looking for something and I found it. No longer have that. This witness is clear. A statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I don't see anything faulty. Ow. That was what I needed. Wait a second, Larry. What? You only heard one bang? You're sure? That's what I said. But Miss Lotta Hart testified yesterday that she heard two bangs. And the old man just now said the same thing. They both heard two gunshots that night. Huh? Were you even listening? Were you paying attention to all that they said? Yo, Nick, please. Huh? You know something's been bothering me. I'm a witness, see? I'm like a customer here. So you gotta treat me nice and stuff, okay? Mr. Butts. What? You only heard one gunshot, are you sure? Well, to tell the truth, I'm not sure. Not sure? How could you not be sure? Yeah, well, I might have missed the other gunshot. I was, listening to something else. Something else? My radio, dude! With my headphones. What? Order, order, and stop that booing! Mr. Butts! You were listening to your radio with your headphones? Yeah, so what? That a crime? I listen to my radio. Everybody listens to the radio. What's the big deal? Mr. Von Comma, your opinion? Waste of time. I do not accept this witness nor shoddy testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, should he continue his testimony? Continue. Your Honor, please allow the witness to continue his testimony. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. Very well, Mr. Butts. Please give your testimony and be sure to include the details like your radio. Right, leave it to me. Wonder if there were any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud, like. But I'm sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too. You were listening to your radio at a high volume. Yeah, what's the big problem? Can't a man listen to his radio in peace? Isn't it a free country? I truly believe Larry has no idea what the problem here is. Judge, you believe a word the witness says. What he heard was probably nothing more than a drum beat from the radio. True enough, it is difficult to believe this testimony. Wait, Your Honor. The witness says he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshot. Excuse me? DJ? The announcer. The guy who says the things on the radio. Anyway, what this means is when he heard that sound, no music was playing. The DJ only talks between songs, so he could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm continuing this charade. What Larry heard. Cross-examination. Come on, Larry. So, you turned on the radio. Right. I just wanted to hear someone's voice, you know. You don't I know what it's like to be alone, or out there, alone, on Christmas Eve, alone. I shouldn't have said anything. That's why I was listening to an all-request show on the radio, see? I was listening to it real booming loud. Or booming like. Do you, by any chance, remember the name of the program you were listening to? This has nothing to do with the case, Your Honor. Objection sustained. The witness was listening to the radio. That is all we need to know. Tell us, Mr. Butts, how loud was your radio set to that night? Real booming loud? Yeah, you know. And you had headphones on. Yep. I wouldn't think you could hear anything going on outside at all. Sure heard that gunshot. Can you prove that? No, of course you can't. Nah, I can't prove it. But I remember the moment real clear. I mean, while I was talking about it, it came back real clear to me, you know? I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it, too. What did she say? Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. What possible good could knowing what the radio DJ said to us? Indeed, Mr. Von Comma has a point. I'll allow the question only if you see some reason why we should care. We should care because there's a chance we can verify exactly what time he heard it. Duh! Honestly. We should care. We should care, Your Honor. Of course we should. Why? Oh, come on, Phoenix. Well, how do you know if you don't ask? Fine, very well. Mr. Butts, please testify to the court. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Just when she said, "Hey, it's almost Christmas," I heard the gunshot. There's one gleaming ray of hope in there. I gotta press it until we get the bottom of what happened. Are you sure? Of course I am. She had this real sexy voice. Maybe Von Karma was right. I'm not sure how that helped us at all. It's most ludicrous testimony. Da-da. Larry, are you absolutely sure what you're saying is correct? Huh? What's with the face? You look scary, dude. Hey, if you're trying to scare me, you better know I don't scare that easy. Is something the matter, Mr. Wright? Your Honor. Did you hear what the witness just said? The DG said, hey, it's almost Christmas when he heard the gunshot. Indeed, and almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas. Do you realize what this means? When he heard the gunshot, it was still Christmas Eve. That would seem to be the case, yes. But that contradicts the two testimonies we have heard so far, Your Honor. Both Miss Hart and the old man said that it was after midnight when they heard the shots. In other words, when they heard the gunshots, it was already Christmas. It's a clear contradiction, Your Honor. Order. Order! What does this mean? The two prior witnesses heard gunshots after midnight. However, the witness says that he heard gunshot before midnight. Judge, the answer is simple. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him. Suspicious. What? Exactly. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Mr. Butt's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? Larry's right. Because there were 3 shots fired by that gun! Plus, the freaking camera went off twice. Once with an empty lake. Larry's not mistaken, Your Honor. He heard the gunshot before midnight. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim. Show me evidence there was a gunshot before midnight. Why not a problem, douchebag? Take that! Look at this photograph. This was taken by our witness yesterday, Miss Lotta Hart, with her automatic camera. The timestamp on the photo reads December 24th, 11:50 p.m. Oh? But there's nothing on the lake in this picture. Your Honor, the real issue here is not why nothing is shown on the photograph. It is why the photograph exists at all. What do you mean? Your Honor, this photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera is set to go off in response to loud noises. Aha! Correct. There was a loud noise on the lake at 11:50 p.m. That is why this photograph was taken. In other words, when Larry heard that gunshot, it was most definitely still Christmas Eve. Indeed, it would seem that is the case. Then, where does this leave us? Miss Hart testified that she heard gunshots after midnight. Are you claiming that she was mistaken? Not at all, Your Honor. It is a fact that the camera also triggered at 15 minutes after midnight. Your Honor, that night there was 2 sets of gunshots, with a 25-minute pause between them. Why would this be? Don't be fooled, Judge. The camera was set to respond to loud noises, yes? There is no proof that the loud noise at 11:50 was a gunshot. Why, the witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera. Hey, my nose is clear that night, man! Clear! Well, Mr. Wright, there's no turning back now. Can you prove that the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot? Please show the court evidence if you have any. Why, yes, I do. The fact that the pistol was fired 3 times. This is my evidence. The murder weapon? Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was the last shot fired? Only now I have realized the truth. That 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen on the lake that night. Exactly. If this is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50 and another 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? Uh-oh. I'd better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes. Ah!
What's wrong, Nick?
I have it! I have it! Huh? Remember the case at Steel Samurai?
Huh? Yeah, of course I remember.
The murderer in this case has the same idea as the murderer in that case.
What do you mean?
Maya.
Yes?
If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I've got a hunch, and I'm going to run with it.
Right. I mean, is that safe?
Safe? We've already gotten a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay?
Right, Nick.
Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Wright? The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realized the truth. There can be no other murderer than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness photographer. A photograph. The defendant, Edgeworth, and the victim, Robert Hammond, were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat, and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. It couldn't have been a suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat. I admit that it's hard to imagine any other possibility. Yes. But this assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. Huh? What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Your photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 00:15. But Larry heard a gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. It's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the 2 men in the boat are. Edgeworth and the murderer, Edgeworth and Hammond, murderer and Hammond. Edgeworth said that he saw Hammond. We're definitely gonna save here. Edgeworth and Hammond. Miles Edgeworth and Robert Hammond. Yes, I believe you are mad. That is exactly what I've been telling the court this whole time. You're agreeing with me, and yet, what did you just say? That Robert Hammond had been killed 25 minutes before the shot on the boat. Yes, that is what I said. I was just testing you, Von Karma. Mr. Wright, your client has already been declared guilty once. I'm going to have to... Ah, fudge. And it's gotta be Edgeworth and the murderer, right? Because he was definitely on the... Of course it was Edgeworth and the murderer! After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, he assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. That makes more sense. What? Are you serious? Yes. Edgeworth won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. I'm not sure what to make of all this. Ludicrous. Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer, then. The murderer's name? Right, it's... I don't know. Actually, I don't know the murderer's name. You don't know? Bah! Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker on the boat shop. That old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. The caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats on the lake then. Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? May I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not on a boat? What? Well then, where did the murder take place? I would It had to be at the boat shop, right? Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way, he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing. Do you have any proof that the boat shop was the scene of the crime? Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat, searching for something. He finds it and returns to the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head home, he hears a gunshot. He heard a gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he just returned a boat? The boat shop. Why, yes. Yes, indeed. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on the Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Nick, are you sure about this? Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning, I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. That was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put Robert Hammond's coat on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then, he got into the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright? The boat shop, the caretaker. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice, but missed Edgeworth on purpose. Wait a minute. Yes? Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit it? Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. His first shot missed to create a witness. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. Create a witness? The murderer lifts his pistol and fires once. That ensures anyone who had heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. Someone looking from the edge of the lake. It would appear one of the men had shot the other. The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night at Gourd Lake. Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. Very well. While we are waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, for a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes. Several days ago, I received a letter. That letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve. He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important. I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. Your Honor, sir! Bailiff, we are conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't in the boat shop either. What? What should I do? Find him, quickly! We cannot allow him to get away! Mr. Von Calmer, your witness has disappeared. A search warrant has already been issued. It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. I request that the police department utilize all of its forces to find that witness. Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. I want him, and I want to know who he is. Very well. Court is adjourned. December 27th, 1:22 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Yay, Nick, you did it! Yeah. Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict. And what about Larry? That was something else. Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. Just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time. I know what you mean. Sometimes I feel like it's us on trial instead of our clients. Hey, Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You can try to smile just a little. Relax. I'm sorry. I fear it's not over for me yet. What do you mean? Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. And I don't know whether or not to tell you. Edgeworth? No, there's so little time left. I want to tell you to get it off my chest, but... Can't make up my mind. What is this about, Edgeworth? It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime that I committed. A crime you committed? A memory of a murder.